Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I am here at a very familiar place, Theodore Worth, and I have the Nukeproof Scout. You might notice some changes. There is no blue on it, although there's red pedals now. Here's what I did. I had to think about this and figure out exactly how I wanted to do it. I took the Marzocchi Bomber Z2 fork that I had. It was actually on my titanium Hey Duke. This is a true 27.5 fork, so I felt that was important, and it's 140 millimeter travel, so to me that fits this bike better. Like, it makes sense rather than putting a 29er fork with 120 millimeters of travel, which ends up being about the same axle to crown but just with less travel. This way I get more travel and I don't slack it out anymore. So that is why I did that, and I figured, well, since the fork is black, I might as well go back to the black Chromag handlebars and throw red pedals on and just make it look kind of cool this way. So it actually looks pretty cool, red and black, so not bad. A couple of things about this particular build is one of my goals was to get it to have a 65-degree head angle, and I'm pretty close. I'm somewhere between 64.5, 65-degree head angle, so a degree to a degree and a half steeper than when I had it in the MX configuration with the 29 or 120 millimeter fork. Someday I'll go over this whole thing with forks and 29er versus 27.5 and all of that. Put a message down in the comments and let me know if you want to see something like that, because it can get really confusing, trust me, and it might help you when you're like buying a fork, even if you have 27.5 wheels and you want to run a 29er fork. So all right, the other thing that's kind of cool is I'm back on the Bontrager tires. So these are actually 27.5 by 2.4 versus 2.6, which I normally run. And because I went back to these wheels, I get to keep running the Advent X, which is awesome because I just like the Advent X. So I feel like this is going to be a configuration that I like for more styles of trails, and that is why I'm here at Theodore Worth. So one of the reasons why I always like to ride here when I test new bikes is because it's like always comparing to the same thing. The terrain, the trails, all that is the same, and it's just an easier way to have a more accurate opinion on how a bike rides. If I'm at a different trail, well, yeah, like the MX configuration was great at Monarch, doing all the big jumps and drops and all that stuff, but is it going to be as good in the North Loop? No. But will this configuration be as good in the North Loop? I think so. So we'll see. Enough babbling. Let's go hit the trail. So there's this whole technical rock line on the left here. See how it does. Continues. See how it does. And then up here. Nice. And there's the skinning here. Oh, I got a little sketched up, but not bad. Sweet. There's the skinning here. Oh, I got a little. So this bike definitely feels more like an all-arounder, and without being super slacked out. It's still long for me for what I'm used to. My Rustler is a 420 reach. This is a 440, so I can feel the difference, but steering wise it doesn't have like that major flop. Maybe a tiny bit, but not like something that I notice that much. So definitely more well balanced and not so single purpose in this configuration. Okay, I haven't had much luck with this rock garden this year. Let's see. One pedal strike. Oh, I just cleaned it. What? I had a pedal strike in there, but I cleaned it. What's interesting is I approached it a little slower. I feel like I have to go really fast, and that screws me up at the top. Wow. I've not been having good luck with that one this year. Super stoked I cleared it. And we have this big rock right here. Piece of cake. Here's some really tight trail, and then some technical rocks right up here. Nice. This cool little boardwalk. So all of this kind of stuff really tests the handling of the bike and how well it handles tighter, more technical stuff, and it does pretty good. So I'll talk a little more detail about forks, like I mentioned at the beginning on my channel. But what I am noticing is this fork is more plush at the top. So the reason why that is because I have more travel. So when you have less travel and you're doing, you know, pretty gnarly stuff on your bike, like big drops at Monarch, you got to run higher pressure. And yeah, the DVO has off the top and all that stuff, but even with that, it's like there's only so much travel to work with. When I have 140 millimeters of travel now, and on this fork, instead of having off the top and all that stuff, this fork's much simpler, but I do have some volume spacers in there. And if I remember right, I have 3 of them, 3 tokens. And so what that does is allows the fork to be more plush. And I have this rail adjustment so I can firm it up or make it softer, but on the fly, which is cool. But when I have more travel, I have more to work with, and I can make it more plush, but yet still have it ramp up and not bottom out. So kind of cool for stuff like this, where it just soaks all that up. Not a super huge thing, but it helps, and definitely lowers the amount of fatigue I get on my arms. I love this wooden feature right here. Get up speed, just send it. Send it. It's starting to rain. Wet rocks. This trail needs rain, so if it just lightly rains like this, it's fine. But if it gets any more heavy or the trail starts to get wet, I'll have to put an end to this ride. Definitely don't want to ride wet trails. It has been a real dry summer. You can see how dry the trail is right now. Definitely watch for wet rocks. Oh no, it started raining. We'll have to see if it rains enough. I'll check this out. Yeah, it's gonna get too wet and slippery. Oh well, I got in. a good enough ride to get a feel for this bike. I'm gonna duck out up here because there's a little crossing. Oh yeah, my brakes aren't working so great. Right here. So I'm gonna duck out and do my conclusion. I know there's water all over the GoPro lens, but I just want to say I am not going to complain about the rain. We've had such a dry year and we really need this rain, so bring it on. We really need it. All right, well, it did rain quite a bit. It's pretty wet around here, so I got in what I needed to get in to get a good feel for this bike. I actually really like it in this configuration, way more than I liked it set up as an MX build. It was just too slacked out. If there was a way to do the MX build and not end up with a 63.5 head angle, it probably would be fine. The Hey Duke rode a lot nicer as an MX build just because it started out with a steeper head tube, but this, it just got too slack. Now at 65 degrees and with 27.5 wheels on both front and rear, it just feels a lot better, and with the 140 millimeters of travel is also nice. I mentioned that during the video, the amount of plushness I'm getting, so on and so forth. I'll get this bike out more in this configuration. These Bond Trigger tires are also awesome. I'm pretty impressed with how well they work. Everything is just kind of blowing my mind right now. But yeah, more riding on this. I want to get it on some jumps when it's in this configuration, and if this can jump really nicely just like it did when it was in its MX configuration, I'll be pretty stoked, and it might end up being a keeper in my stable. And I actually don't think it looks too bad with all the red and black. It kind of looks cool. I have some red pill grips that I really like. I might put those on here. We'll see. Awesome. Or I could try, I haven't tried the new wolf tooth grips, and I think they come in red. Just another thing, if you haven't been noticing on my channel, I have a new car. I no longer have the Tacoma, so Hyundai Ioniq 5. Got the rack, it's all I need. All electric, super awesome. This car is silly fast. It's so fun to drive, and I'm super stoked to be an all-electric. It just fits my needs better. I really appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.